So today I'm going to talk about self-injury, self-harm, self-mutilation. It could be named of all of that. Basically, I'm going to talk a little bit about my experiences with it, and then I'm going to give you some coping methods that have helped me in the past. Again, I say it all the time, but what may help for one person may not help for the other person. So, with that being said, just keep in mind that not all of the things that I'm going to say may be helpful to you. So, when I first started harming myself, like cutting, I was like 14 years old, like 14 or 15, I remember, and I had an incident with my dad. And I felt really just shitty about myself, just plain shitty. And I didn't know, like, what to do. I didn't know how to get through what had happened. So I wound up, cutting myself with a razor. And I tried with a knife first, and it didn't work. And I needed something sharper. So I actually went to, like, the lengths of, like, cutting open a razor, like an actual razor that you would use for your legs or, whatever. And I, like, ripped it apart and got the little razor blades out. Do not do that. I'm sure many of self-harmers do that, but I did that, and I wound up cutting, and I would always cut on my right arm. And then after I started realizing that people would notice the marks and stuff with the scars, I had to cover my shirt up or cover my arm up, which was hard, like in the summertime. Or then I had to start cutting on my leg, and then I started cutting like on my left thigh, upper thigh, so nobody would see it, because I wear longer shorts in the summertime. So I felt a relief of, I don't know, just kind of like, I felt comfort and a sense of just kind of like, I felt alive after I saw the blood, and that's like a huge thing for people that self-harm. When they see blood, they are like, in their heads, they're like, oh, I'm alive. If I'm still bleeding, you're alive, right? Because that's just natural. If you're still bleeding, then you're alive. So, and then that started becoming like a habit and an addiction. And I started doing it all the time. Like, if something happened, cut myself. If, something else happened, do this to myself. And it just got so out of hand. And finally, eventually, my mom found out, and my sister found out that I was harming myself by cutting and stuff like that. And then I started going to a therapist when I was like 16, and I talked about it there and learned some, I thought it was crazy, because at the time I really didn't know like what it meant or anything. I thought, like, if I'm cutting myself, obviously there's something wrong with me, and I felt crazy. And a lot of people that self-harm feel crazy, and you're not crazy at all. It's not. It actually, like, more than half of the world self-harms in some way to deal with some kind of traumatic events. So with that being said, I'm going to list some coping methods that I have learned along the way. And if they don't work for you, then, at least you tried. You went out with a bang and you tried. Okay, so some of them you probably already know. But one is you could take a rubber band and put it on your wrist and keep snapping it. Just, keep snapping it. And you get that stingy feeling, and hopefully maybe the urge will go away. Because if you do it hard enough, you're going to leave a red mark. And it may actually feel like you're harming yourself, and you may get a relief. I'm sure everybody knows this one. You can hold ice cubes in your hands for a very, very long time until they like burn and really bad. And then after you hold ice cubes, rub your hands under hot water, really like for like 5-10 seconds, and it like burns. So that's kind of like you're harming yourself, but you're not harming yourself. You can read, you can take a shower, shred paper, that works well. Just get a bunch of like paper that you don't use or whatever, and just kind of rip shit up and just throw it around if you feel like you need to. Make sure try to like picture a safe place in your head. You could tape record yourself. I actually got that from my therapist. She made me buy a little tape recorder and tape record my thoughts, and that actually worked for quite some time. You can journal. I actually journal a lot. You can go to a public place like Starbucks. Starbucks is a good place to go. You can, bring your laptop, sit, have some coffee or tea or whatever. But I do have to say, stay away from like self-harming websites and stuff like that. Like, do not go online when you're feeling the urge to cut or self-harm, because that could be really, really triggering. We'll try to remember the triggering events and like what has made you feel like you want to self-harm, and write that down. And get grounded. Ground yourself. Like I said, use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise. That works great. And that's pretty much just like, or like call a friend or a family member or somebody that you trust. And, or just lay with your pets. I mean, I do that sometimes. My cat. That's pretty much about it. And then the last thing that I have, it's called a 15-minute rule. And I'm going to explain that a little bit because it's a little bit lengthy and it's hard. I have it written down and I want to actually read it for you guys. This way you'll understand it better. So let me come to my computer and read it. It's called the 15-minute rule, and it goes like this. One of the most effective things that can precede anything else on the list of your, you make a list of like things that you can do, like I obviously just did. Make a contract with yourself that you will wait 15 minutes before hurting yourself. During this time, use whatever coping skills work for you, or just do something to pass the time. After the 15 minutes are over, recognize the fact that you were able to successfully complete the contract and immediately make another. Realizing you have the power within to not react impulsively. You've already shown that, obviously. If you still want to hurt yourself, make another 15-minute contract, making sure to give yourself credit for not acting impulsively. If at any time you believe you're in jeopardy of not continuing the self-contracting skill, reach out for assistance immediately. Call your friends, family, therapist, whatever. When the desire to self-injure finally passes, maybe you can tell a friend who knows about your self-injury that you made it through, and applaud yourself. Be happy that you did it, even if it's just by saying I made it. Like by saying I made it, I did it, I got past the urge. And I always use that method when I have the urge to like purge, and even if like nothing else, just say to yourself, I did it. Call somebody up and be like, I did it, and like that's awesome, that's freaking awesome. And that makes you feel good about yourself. So that is all for this Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday. And that's it. Peace and love. Take care and stay safe. Bye.